A violent attack. How investigators caught up with him this week. Plus, following an incredible loss, a Portland family doing its best to celebrate life by giving back to the community. But before we get to all that, let's check in with Daisy Caballero for a quick look at the forecast.
Hey, good morning, China. Good morning to all of our viewers. Happy Sunday. And as we're ending our weekend, clouds are starting to roll on into our neck of the woods. Also some light passing showers that will kind of diminish as we're looking into the early afternoon today. But currently right now, we're dealing with temperatures in the upper 50s, also dealing with some fog, some low cloud coverage, and that of course brings low visibility. So folks in Kelso, Scappoose, us in Portland, Hillsborough, Aurora, and also down in Lane County, Corvallis, and Eugene are dealing with these conditions. So if you're planning to drive within the next 2 hours or so, I would say just give yourself a little bit of extra time to get on the road. Current temperatures right now, 58 in both Portland and Troutdale, also for Scappoose, 54 for Forest Grove. And looking along the coastline, those mid 50s with 55 degrees over to the Dalles. So temperatures for your daytime highs today, again, we're not going to be warming up more than those mid 60s for the most part. 64 for Portland, those 60s for Salem and Albany, 61 for Eugene. But enjoy these temperatures because today is actually the warmest day that we're going to be seeing for the next 7 days. We'll talk more about what's in store alongside when we'll see more of that rain today.
All right, Daisy, new this morning, we are investigators are trying to determine what led to a fatal crash along Northeast 82nd Avenue. At least one person died in this crash. The damage at the intersection with Burnside was extensive, as you can see. Police say it looks like the minivan hit a pedestrian before slamming into a utility pole. The pedestrian died at the scene. The minivan's driver was also taken to the hospital with severe injuries. An Oregon rock climber has been arrested for planning a violent attack in Deschutes County. The sheriff's office says 39-year-old Portland resident Samson Garner faces several charges here. They include attempted murder, assault, and unlawful use of a weapon. This comes after detectives found evidence in his car of a planned attack at a rock climbing event at Smith Rock State Park. Deschutes County and Portland detectives worked for several days to investigate the case. They stopped Garner while he was in Deschutes County. Detectives haven't reported a motive, but they do believe he was acting alone. All right, take a look at these new photos from Portland police following a theft bust this week. Friday, PPB's East Precinct carried out a bust at several malls, including Gateway and Mall 205, with the help of some nearby businesses. Police took 10 people into custody, retrieved more than $4,000 worth of merchandise. No word on the charges those in custody will be facing. As part of a renewed effort to make it safer to ride buses and the MAX, law enforcement is ramping up staff to patrol TriMet around Multnomah County. Prosecutors also being added to streamline casework. Thomas Schultz has that story.
Officials admit there's a problem. Crime committed on TriMet goes unprosecuted too often, though now
you're going to see more presence on the system.
They hope more staff will allow for more patrols, efficient investigations, and increased prosecutions.
These resources will help streamline investigations while also freeing up our transit police officers to be more visible on our transit system and around our transit locations.
It's all a part of TriMet's plan to beef up security.
We have now over 315 security staff out there as a response to our riders who want to see more presence out there on the system.
315, more than double what they had a year ago. And TriMet Chief Safety Officer Andrew Wilson says TriMet has doubled its security staff budget since 2020, though it has lost much of its police presence. Now, right now, TriMet says that it has budgeted 65 positions for its transit police force, though less than a third of those are currently filled. Just 18 law enforcement officers staffed, who are contracted from surrounding agencies, though when those departments are understaffed, they don't have the manpower to help TriMet.
We've struggled to get those numbers back up post-COVID in particular.
5 years ago, Wilson says TriMet had all 65 positions booked. There were once deputies from Clackamas and Washington County too, though now numbers dwindle. And while there's a long way to go to fully staff transit police, officials hope a few more members will help.
understaffed. It is our hope that transit police will continue to grow.
Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
A Northeast Portland medical clinic, one that offers addiction services, has become a magnet for drug users. This is a scene just this week outside the Blackburn Center as people wait for a bed inside. Our Blair Best witnessed people smoking meth, others saying they'll keep doing so, and other drugs there until a space opens up. Neighbors say the open air drug activity makes them feel unsafe.
I think it's horrible. I mean, they're supposed to treat people for drugs, and it's available to them right outside. It shouldn't be there at all.
Oh yeah, I've tried to get in here a few times. It's really difficult because they're backed up.
Central City Concern, the organization that runs the Blackburn Center, said in a statement that they are working to create safe and welcoming environment outside the center. They also have their own security to mitigate open air drug use. A Portland family is celebrating life after a great loss, and they're doing it by giving back to the community at the Portland Farmers Market. Ashley Grams brings us the story.
The Farmers Market, a place to share your passion, to find community, and for the Choi family, a place to remember Matt.
Yeah, I miss him a lot.
He was a son, a brother, a friend, and the founder of Choi's Kimchi.
It's really special for me and Matthew, and he really loved kimchi business and farmers market.
Chong and her son worked side by side and built the business together until Matt tragically lost his life 3 years ago in 2020 after a man broke into his apartment and stabbed him.
You don't ever imagine it, you can't ever think it, can't prepare for it. And so when it happens, you just got to pick up the pieces and go.
And that's what Peter did, mourning his brother while helping his mother run the business.
You kind of take one step at a time and you try to build upon what he did.
Last year, they went one step further, creating the Matthew Choi Farmers Market Vendor Grant.
We want to give back to some up-and-coming businesses who are trying to make it in the market, and if there's any way that we can provide assistance, that's kind of what the grant's about and what this, I guess, Matt's Spirit's about.
They're now raising funds for a second year to continue the work Matt started, helping others pitch a tent and share their hard work.
We still hear stories today from other people how he's touched them or helped their business and how knowledgeable he was about it. So just to hear that, it really feels like his legacy is still continuing.
For both Chong and Peter, it's about looking ahead and celebrating a life well lived.
I like to continue, the Matthew Foundation work.
Just to be able to share Matt and just that spirit, I think helps the healing process.
And if you missed out on the farmers market, don't worry, you can still donate. And you can find that information at kgw.com. You can also buy Choi's Kimchi every weekend at the Portland Farmers Market. Reporting in downtown Portland, I'm Ashley Grams, KGW News.